This is Joe Pugh for the Boxing Voice, joined here in Camden Boxing Gym for the media workout for Riakporhe versus Turchi by Ben. Shalom, how are you, Ben?
Very well, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Talk to me about a bumper stacked Sky schedule for June. We had a stacked February. We had a few tournament shows. We had Riakporhe versus Juma, but now June, 6th month of the year, straight halfway through the year. Football season's finished. Big month of boxing.
I love that. I love your interview style. June 11th, Riakporhe Turchi, Congo Formella, Charlie Brown. Congo Formella is a big fight. Sebastian Formella has headlined plenty of times, never got stopped. Fought Sean Porter, fought Conor Ben. Congo gets his chance. I think when a fighter loses, they always worry. We believe in Chris. He had an awkward night against McKinson. He didn't prepare well. And now he wants his chance again, so he's extremely excited. Formella's coming to win. Charlie Brown, both our guys. It's a crossroads fight. One goes to British title, the other one, loser certainly comes again. So credit to both guys for taking that, obviously. Chelly only knows one way to come forward. Jermaine Brown is a technical fighter, boxes on the back foot. Honestly, it's a really, really fun 50-50 fight. I know them both and I can't call it, so it's a genuine 50-50. And then Riakporhe, one fight away, I believe, from a world title fight, and he's fighting a guy that is going to come, that believes it's his chance as well. He's going to be boxing southpaw. He's going to try and nullify his power. Experienced guy, obviously coming back off the back of the Tony McCarthy defeat. But yeah, three really, really interesting fights. Three fights that mean a lot for Richard and Chris, and then a real 50-50 British grudge match. And yeah, it's a really, I think it's Congo fight and the Charlie Brown fight maybe gone under the radar, but they are strong fights, and Formella is headlined around the world.
I'm sure you know as well as I do how important domestic dust-ups are. Like, we see it on a fairly big scale this weekend with Boatsi versus Richards. Last time out, obviously, due to injury, we got Juma taking on Riakporhe. This time we got Charlie Brown. How important, kind of little domestic gems in there?
100%. I mean, the environment's got to be right. We don't want to throw them to the wolves, but they will come again. I'm glad because Jermaine's had 2 fights now. He's looked good against Jamal Ledoux and Charlie Schofield, and now he steps up. Zach Chelly's come back for us. He obviously won our tournament, and then he's fought in Newcastle, and now he's ready. It's important because we want to encourage fighters to take fights that they might lose and be confident that they'll come again. That's the key, and it's good because it's what the fans want to see. But at the same time, the fighters has to make sense for them. And I think both guys are confident that they want to risk it. Both guys believe they can win, and they know there's huge rewards at the end.
Another card that you've just announced is Coventry for the end of June, and taking a look at that, all the way down the card, there's some big Midland ticket sellers there. Obviously, Sam Eggington, everyone knows. When has he ever been in a bad fight? What a great card that is as well.
Yeah, I think Sam... Look, I've been speaking to Mick Hennessy a while. I really get on with Mick. We do a lot of work together. He's been great to me. You know, a lot of promoters, when you come in and they want to do this or they want to do that and they're not happy, but Mick's been great. And we work together on Savannah, Huey, and obviously we go to the Midlands, and Sam Eggington's lined up for the IBO world title fight against an unbeaten Polish guy. He's coming off 2 Fight of the Year contenders. If not, sorry, I think he won Fight of the Year. And... yeah, we know he's going to be in a big fight. It's an exciting fight, and it's exciting for Sam. Obviously, throughout the card, as you say, Adam Azim in a World U title fight. Karis Artist all in her debut. Corey Gibbs and Dylan Sheena, both our winners, get to fight. There's the English title as well in there with Tyler Denny and River Wilson-Bent. So it's a great card. And then we're hoping in the next day or two we can announce July 2nd as well. So it's a very, very busy June and end of the season for us and for Sky, who also have obviously Haney, Cambosis, Better BF, Joe Smith Jr. It's a strong month.
And you spoke about Huey and Savannah. We'll touch on both of them individually, starting with Savannah. Savannah, obviously, we thought it was going to be July time against Clarissa, the fight that everyone wants. We're here in September time now. Any further updates?
Yeah, Huey will fight Michael Hunter, both signed, ready to go, and we're hoping it's going to be July 2nd. It'll be announced in the next day or two. Really exciting fight, 50-50 fight, crossroads fight. Anyone that knows about boxing, there's a lot on the line. It's a final eliminator. The winner will fight Dubois or Bryant. And fair play to Hughie Fury for stepping up, taking it again, and taking a very, very avoided fighter. I remember when Michael came out of the Olympics in 2012, was tipped to go on to great things, hasn't achieved his full potential, but we know how talented he is. We see that now with Martin Bacoli, and the fact that he beat him, and the fact that he's been in there with Povetkin and not lost, and he's a very talented fighter. But Hughie Fury now, I felt sorry for him because we're trying to get him fights for a long time. And Robert Helenius was his mandatory. He avoided that fight. We offered the fight to Derek Chisora. We offered the fight to plenty of fighters. No one wants to fight Hughie, and he's only getting better. And we're loyal to our fighters. We went in for Hughie. Peter Fury is a fantastic trainer, and they're ready for any opportunity. And we've been waiting for this one. I can't wait to get it out. I can't wait for Hughie to have his opportunity. And it's a really exciting one for the fans.
And it's great because kind of the three biggest promoters in the UK at the minute are all hitting us with kind of big contender level heavyweight fights. Yourself bringing us Fury versus Hunter. Eddie Earn and Matchroom hopefully going to be bringing Chisora versus Kalnacki. Then fingers crossed September Frank will bring us Parker versus Joyce. It all starts from heavyweight boxing. Everyone says that. If you've got good heavyweights, it will trickle down throughout the whole sport. So kind of for you as a promoter and kind of heading Sky Sports Boxing now, it starts off with the heavyweights, but it's a great opportunity to get the younger prospects on the undercard and build them up through it.
Yeah, I think we're about to see a transition in the heavyweight division. Obviously, Chisora's, disrespectfully coming to an end. Yeah. We've got fighters, maybe Tyson Fury saying that he's retired, and Anthony Joshua in his big unification fights now. And there's going to be that transition process. Obviously, Joe Joyce is 35, 36 and trying to make sure he gets his big fights and world title shots. But yeah, it's a transition. And as you say, Dubois, Bryant, Hunter, Fury, I think represents that transition, and the winners will fight each other. And all we want is competitive fights. You should never blame a fighter for taking a competitive fight or taking a loss. The fact is they're taking it, and the heavyweight division needs that. And sometimes you see so many fights that you wish were made that aren't made, and yeah, everything comes from the heavyweight division, and we want to be involved. And obviously we have Fraser Clark from Tokyo 2020 that wants to get in the mix straight away. He's obviously been injured, but will be back in July. And yeah, it's an exciting time for the division because you have got those, as I say, established names taking their big fights now, but also a nice young crop coming through.
I just spoke to Adam Smith. I'll ask him ask you the exact same question as I asked him. Last week we had kind of a controversial Tyson Fury video of him coming out in Paris, and in the last couple of days we've had Anthony Joshua, another video of him hitting back at some university students. I'm not going to kind of ask you comments on them videos individually, but what I will ask you is how important is it for kind of the British sports stars at the highest level of the sport and kind of the two biggest names in British boxing to act in a manner that, because they are role models at the end of the day?
They are, but first of all, Anthony Joshua has been a role model his whole career. I'm a massive fan. I think he's done amazing things for the sport. And any criticism of it is, for me, jealousy and trying to wind him up and trying to do this. At the end of the day, he started boxing late. He's gone on to do things that we could have never imagined at the start of his career. And he's human as well. And so, nothing to say on that. And Tyson Fury as well, done amazing things for the sport, come back from absolute ground zero. If that's not an inspiration to anyone, then what is? I think these guys are human, and it's none of my business what they do.
Fantastic. And we'll finish off on something a bit more positive, Ben. Recently, we've seen the final retirement of Amir Khan and Kell Brook. They was kind of the last of this crop of George Groves, Carl Froch, David Hay, Tony Bellew, kind of a grade A era for British boxing, and now we've got Tokyo crop coming out. We need a bit of a bridge, don't we, just to keep boxing going for the next couple of years until Tokyo, the class of Tokyo, gets to the title stages. Who can you see from your stable who can kind of be a front runner for titles going forward within the next 12 to 18 months?
You remind me of a young Steve Bunce, you know.
Really?
No, you got that same energy. It's good. It's always the question, boxing needs stars. Boxing needs superstars for it to thrive, for it to be the best sport that we love, for it to cross over into the mainstream. As you said, we've had some big names retire and we're looking for the next ones. And look, that's why we invested in Tokyo 2020. That's why we invested in Adam Azim. That's why we have a lot of rough diamonds as well. We want to build the future superstars of the sport. It's very needed for tomorrow. I think sometimes we all get caught up in the here and now, but we need to protect the future of the sport, and superstars are needed. And as you say, there's a lot coming to the end. Where are the new ones? I think there's a lot of them. I think they just need to be on the right platform, guided correctly, and to believe that they can become the next one, because it's daunting saying someone's the next Amir Khan or the next Kell Brook or the next Anthony Joshua. So they've got to believe it. And as we've seen, it's the most successful Olympics we've ever had. So it's clearly it's in a good place.
And that platform to be Sky?
I think so, yeah.
Brilliant. Ben, thanks for your time. Speak to you again soon, mate.